Am I out of focus? I better not be out of fucking focus. I'm fucking up my wall, actually. Can you see that? It's from my chair. Today, we are continuing our conversation about breakout, bounce back MLB players in 2024. And we're moving on to the American League. While I'm filming this, Jorge Soler just signed to the Giants. They needed to do something like that, to be honest. You know what other team needed that, though? A team that lost a really good DH in the offseason. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Congratulations, San Francisco. He should have been an angel. But we got Aaron Hicks. Give me a break. God, I've seen what you've done for other people, and I want it for me. We're just gonna jump right in. Let me know down below which guys you agree with and which ones you don't, and which ones you would have picked instead, and which stat doesn't matter and which one does matter instead. All that fun stuff. I'm just kidding. Or am I? This is a continuation from our part 1, the National League. If you haven't checked out the National League one, I'll put a link up there so you can watch that one first. Let's get into it. Let's start with the American League East.
Going into the 9th inning. A little banana to finish this one out, Michael.
I wonder if he peels it, because there's a lot of people that eat the banana. Wow.
We are talking about the Baltimore Orioles first. So many young guys to pick from in this group, but I went with Grayson Rodriguez. He had an incredible second half of the season. He specifically stopped throwing his cutter against lefties, according to Baseball Savant, and that seems to have really helped. He has filthy pitches with tons of movement. Among all pitchers that threw at least 120 innings in 2023, he has the 11th best Stuff Plus. That's all of his pitches. 11th best in Major League Baseball. Like I mentioned in part 1, Stuff Plus is really just a stat that kind of tells us how nasty a pitch is or how much movement there is on a certain pitch. We like it to be above 100, as we do with most plus stats, so 117. It's about 17% better than the rest of the league, so pretty good. His curveball specifically is really nasty. It's the 5th best when you're looking at Stuff Plus, just behind a few pretty good names in Major League Baseball. Sandy Alcantara, Corbin Burns, Aaron Savali, and Tyler Glass now. So, you know, just a couple of dudes, just 4 dudes. If he can improve the location just a touch, I think his curveball could really be one of the best in baseball. It's at a 97 location plus. He also has a pretty good slider, 125 Stuff Plus, coupled with a 104 location plus. So his slider is also a great pitch. Location is going to be huge for Rodriguez in 2023, as it will be, to be honest, for most of these young pitchers. I should have mentioned that in part 1. When you're playing at any level below Major League Baseball, you can get away with pitching some dangerous pitches. It's just the caliber of the talent that's there. But once you get to Major League Baseball, there's not really a lot of room for error. These guys train day in and day out and get paid millions of dollars to capitalize on your mistakes. So yeah, for Grayson Rodriguez, the stuff is there. I just think that him getting better is going to come with pitching more innings. He only threw 122 in 2023, but I don't see why he doesn't get up to 150, 160 in 2024. Okay, this one I'm actually really excited to talk about. We're going to talk about the Boston Red Sox next, and my guy for a bounce back year is Tyler O'Neill. Similar to my comparison for Heimer Candelario, I think Tyler O'Neill at Fenway is going to be chef's kiss. I think that he is going to capitalize so much on the Green Monster that he's just going to have doubles galore. He loves to pull the ball. He didn't do it as much in 2023. He talked specifically about changing his approach, about having the ball travel a little bit deeper in the zone, and it didn't really do much for him. He did have a few injuries. He only played 72 games in 2023, but that coupled with the new approach, I think he's probably going to leave that approach in 2023. So if he's pulling the ball more with the Green Monster and he's fast, I don't see why he doesn't have some of the most doubles in the league this year. BABIP shows that he may have been a touch unlucky in 2023 as well. He had a 285 BABIP compared to a 314 career BABIP. He does hit the ball hard, so he just is naturally going to have a higher career BABIP. He also had the best walk rate and best strikeout rate in 2023. So again, he's doing all of the right things. He just got hurt, changed his approach at the plate. I don't see why he doesn't have a great bounce back in 2024. Next is the Yankees. I kind of took a cop-out answer. I went with Carlos Rodon. I think there's a few guys that you could go with, but I think he's the most primed to have a bounce back year. He had a terrible 2023, as you guys know, riddled with injuries. He only pitched 64 innings, and he had a 6.85 ERA. A small sample size inflated a bad 2023 for him, so as long as he's healthy, I don't see why he doesn't throw close to 140 innings. He looks like he's lost some weight, which I think is great. The thing with weight loss in athletes though, and this is just across the board, especially in a sport like baseball, when you lose weight, a lot of your mechanics are going to change. Your center of gravity changes, the way your body, it just changes. So as long as he has worked with the weight loss in a sense of, okay, he understands his mechanics are going to be a little bit different, the way his body moves is going to be a little bit different, I don't see why he doesn't have at least like a 3.9 ERA, something below a 4. His stuff plus is ranked 7th in the league. So for him, location is going to be everything, right? Again, location is so important. He really did not do well against lefties this year. He threw way too many fastballs up and in against right-handed hitters as well. And again, you throw that to the right dude and he is going to crush it. So again, I think he was unlucky. I think he was hurt. I think that he was frustrated and didn't have a good mindset going into 2023. So I think he bounces back and he has a good 2024. Let's talk about the Rays next. I have Taj Bradley as my breakout player in 2024. Look, I already can picture the comments. Well, yeah, no shit, he's gonna be... You don't know. You never know until it happens when it comes to Major League Baseball, okay? That's why we have first pick overall guys that don't even make it to Major League Baseball, and Mr. Irrelevant could be the next big name. It is important to keep in mind that he does play in a tougher division, but at the end of the day, he is so young and has the stuff. He's got the nasty pitches to make it happen. Fangraphs projects him to lose about 1.4 ERA on his ERA this year, which I think is great. And his fastball is just something. It's one of the best in baseball. But he didn't locate it. He located it okay. If he can locate his fastball a little bit better, I think that that'll bode really well for him. The thing with fastballs is that you have to locate them well. All a batter has to do is just get the barrel on a fastball, especially if you throw it hard. So if you're not locating it well, they're going to capitalize. I think if he can pair his fastball with a really good off-speed pitch, both of his off-speed pitches aren't that great at the moment. He has a curveball and a change that he uses, but their stuff plus and location plus stats are below 100. If he can really hone in and improve one of those off-speed pitches and then couple it with the fastball, I think the kid's gonna be nasty in 2024. Last in the American League East, my Blue Jay, my bounce back Blue Jay. This, to be transparent, this was the first guy that I put on my list. I kind of picked a few that I already had and then I went down the list. This was the first guy I put on my list. And I think you already know what I'm gonna say. It's Vladdy Jr. The kid was so unlucky in 2023, potentially, according to BABIP. He had a 277 BABIP in 2023 compared to a 294 career BABIP. But if you look at his StatCast stats, he hits the ball so hard. And he also coupled all of these stats with a lower strikeout rate and a higher walk rate in 2023. So again, he's making all of the right moves to get better. He just was unlucky. That's all. I mean, 96th percentile expected batting average, 89th percentile in hard hit rate. And I've seen some pictures. He looks like he's lost some weight too, which, you know, again, I'm not going to say that that is going to just improve a player, but it can help. If he can adjust his swing mechanics to his weight loss, why not? Maybe he gains a little bit of speed. Who knows? It's also kind of a vibe thing. I just think he's going to be good. Let's talk about the AL Central next.
Right over the bag at first. Now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson.
My White Sox, kind of a controversial one. You either love this guy and think that he's the next big thing, or you think he's washed. It's Dylan Cease. I think Dylan Cease is going to have a good 2024. Hey everybody, post-production, Swilly here. As of yesterday, Dylan Cease got traded to the Padres. My stance doesn't really change though. I mean, I still think that Dylan Cease is going to have a great year. So I'm just here to let you know, yeah, I know he's not on the White Sox anymore, but I still think he's going to have a good year in 2024. So that's all. Okay, bye. We know that Cease can be a bit hot and cold, but with trade rumors and his last year of arbitration coming up, I think he has no choice but to ball out in 2024. Like, I just don't think he has another option. He has some of the best stuff plus in Major League Baseball. He's ranked 5th overall, behind guys like Corbin Burns, Kyle Bradish, Garrett Cole, and Spencer Strider. Like, those are some of the best Bradish still. Look, I'm salty about Kyle Bradish, okay? He should be a Halo. Now, he was potentially extremely unlucky in 2023. He had a 330 BABIP in 2023 compared to a career 285. He lost a little bit on his slider in 2023. He had the best slider in baseball in 2022. I don't think you can maintain that run value just long term. Had a 36 run value according to Baseball Savant. It was one of the best pitches in baseball in 2022. So if he can just improve locating a little bit, I think he's primed for a sub-4 ERA season. I think he has a bounce back year in 2024 for sure. Let's talk about the Guardians next. This guy I'm really excited about, and I think there were a few guys that you can go with on the Guardians, but I went with Bo Naylor. Bo seems to have a lot of upsides in a lot of different categories, including his walk rate. He walks at 13%. That's really fucking good. That means he's seeing the ball well. He's laying off of those bad pitches. He also has a lot of upside in his hard hit rate, so that means he's hitting the ball hard. Look, if you can hit the ball hard and not swing at bad pitches, you're gonna be successful in Major League Baseball. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. He had a 2.4 F4 in 67 games, which is pretty impressive. He's also like not slow. Like he can run. He can improve some numbers against left-handed pitching, but again, he's young. I think that these guys that are so young in the league just improve with more plate appearances and seeing more pitches. I don't see why Bo Naylor doesn't have the opportunity to pop off in 2024. He should be their #1 catcher, so we'll see. Let's talk about the Tigers next. I think there were a few guys that you could also go with on the Tigers, but I went with Spencer Torkelson. This is just another young guy that just hits the shit out of the ball. He's in the top third of the league in walks, so he's still seeing the ball well. He does kind of strike out a lot, but when you have a guy that's hitting the ball for power, you do typically see higher strikeout rates. We saw increases in most metrics from 2022 to 2023, including his hard hit rate, which went up 9%. His barrel rate went up 5.7%. His expected slugging went up 0.109. Playing in a weaker division helps him. He has the 13th best hard hit rate in Major League Baseball, by the way. 13th best at 50.7%. He's hitting the ball over 95 miles per hour half the time. So I don't see why he doesn't have an OPS over 800 this year. Would be really good for him. I know that some of these other metrics like runs, RBIs might be a little tough on a weaker team, weaker division, whatever. I totally could see an 800 OPS. The Kansas City Royals. I'm picking another cop-out answer. I feel like I could say this about a lot of these picks, but oh well, I'm gonna say it anyways. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is gonna get MVP votes this year. I think he could be like a top 3 shortstop in baseball this year. I know that I'm really putting him on a pedestal. Bobby Witt signed an 11-year extension, and I think he's fired up about it. I don't think that that is going to make him complacent. He's still so young and has a lot to prove. I don't think this contract is really going to make him complacent in where he's at. That's just me though. I could totally be wrong. That's just the vibe I get. He took really large strides in 2023. So I don't see why he doesn't take large strides again. Here's the thing. Every single hitting metric of Bobby Witt's improved from 2022 to 2023. Every single one of them. He struck out less. He walked more. He hit the ball harder. He had a better expected slugging. He had better sweet spot percentage. He chased less. He whiffed less. He just literally got better in all facets of his game from 22 to 2023. And there's still room for improvement. That's the thing. He's walking like never. He's in the 16th percentile in walk percentage. If the kid walks more, that alone will make him an even better player than he was in 2023. His BABIP is also still 300, so maybe with a little bit of luck on his side, he could absolutely pop off. I really think that he could get to like a 900 to or 1,000 OPS this year. Like, I am so high on Bobby Witt, and if I'm wrong, fine, come back to this, clip it, baby, and be like, Swilly, you don't know ball. And that's fine. I'm willing to die on that hill. Now, the last player that I have for the Minnesota Twins is Carlos Correa. I could have gone with Royce Lewis. You're right. I could have. I think he kind of broke out last year, though, and Carlos Correa just did not have a good 2023. He basically had career lows across the board in 2023, and he's only entering his 29-year-old season, so I don't see why he doesn't recover from that. He had a 272 BABIP in 2023, which shows that he might have been unlucky compared to his 312 career BABIP. His barrel rates and his exit velocities didn't change really from 2022 to 2023, so I think if he just continues his approach, he will have a better 2024. Fangraphs likes him to play 138 games this year. I could see it. He played 135 last year, so I don't see why not. Last but certainly not least, the AL West.
Two pitch from Valdez. Garcia takes ball 3. Whoa, look at him with a cartwheel. Caught his front foot, maybe?
Let's talk Astros to start. I'm going with Hunter Brown for my breakout player this year. Now, he's a right-handed pitcher, has a lot of pitches. He threw 6 different pitches last year. He showed great promise despite an ERA over 5. He had a 4.27 expected ERA, a 10.29 strikeouts per 9. That is so good. But you know which rate I like the best, which number I like the best? 52.4% ground ball rate. We love a pitcher that has a ground ball rate of like 45%. That's like, kudos to you, dude. You are good at baseball. 52.4% is so good. We don't have much to go off of, but he did have a 330 BABIP in 2023, so he potentially could have been a touch unlucky. I think if he can improve one of his breaking or off-speed pitches, that it'll just take him to a new level. His slider wasn't that great last year. He had the 3rd worst slider in Stuff Plus amongst all pitchers that threw at least 150 innings last year, and he had a really inflated home run to fly ball ratio of like 21%. So that should come down. It's so inflated. It should just drop naturally, especially paired with that ground ball rate. Next, we're moving on to my halos. The guy that I have that's primed for a breakout year is Mr. Logan O'Hoppe. I am very high on Logan O'Hoppe this year. There's a lot of signs that point to O'Hoppe having a breakout year in 2024, and it's really just all based on how fucking hard he hit the ball last year. O'Hoppe hit 14 home runs in 199 plate appearances, which if he would have played a full season, he tore his labrum in April? Was it in Boston? I blocked the memory out because I was so upset when it happened. If he would have played a full season, that would have put him at a 30 home run clip. I'm just saying. O'Hoppe had a 15.7% barrel rate, which is 23rd among 368 batters that had at least 190 plate appearances in 2023. It's also the 3rd best among all catchers in the league. MLB average is 6.9%, which is nice, but O'Hoppe's hitting twice that. More than twice that. Simply put, he hits the shit out of the ball. And I think with a full off season, fully recovered from his labrum surge, I don't see why he doesn't pop the fuck off. He also had a 46.7% hard hit rate in 2023, which is 9th amongst catchers. He had a 10.6 barrel per plate appearance, which is 3rd amongst all catchers. So listen, the kid is gonna be a fucking stud. He's gonna hit the shit out of the ball. The fireworks are gonna shoot out of the rocks all the time. And it's just, I can't wait. This is what I have to look forward to in 2024. Now the A's are rough. It's hard to pick because their player development isn't great. I mean, what even is this team right now? But I did end up going with Esteury Ruiz, and that might be kind of a hot take. I think what we saw last year is probably what we're gonna get from him. He stole so many goddamn bases last year. If he could just couple that with hitting like 10 to 15 home runs, he's gonna be pretty good, and I think he could get out of the A's organization. He has spoken about wanting to improve his bat speed in 2024. That'll help tremendously in terms of his power. He just doesn't really have much power. He's still young, so his chase rate and walk rate have room for improvement. If he can just lay off of bad pitches and take some more walks, that will really bode well for him. It is hard to improve on things like runs and RBIs when you're on a team like the A's, but if he can just make slight improvements that come with age, come with seeing more pitches, I think that he could be even better than he was in 2023. I'd love to see him get up to like a 95 WRC plus. I think that'd be great. All right, we are almost done. I have talked about every team today. That is crazy. For the Mariners, there were really 2 guys that I was looking at. There's quite a few on the Mariners roster, but I ended up going with Bryan Woo. Bryan Woo has a lot of potential to have an improved 2024. He's only 24 years old. He's still really young. He was kind of in a weird spot at the beginning of the year. He was relieving for a bit, I believe. Then he became a starting pitcher, so he didn't even hit 100 innings last year. His percentile rankings on Baseball Savant are quite good. He doesn't give up hard contact. He doesn't give up a lot of barrels. He has good fastball velocity, and he keeps average exit velocity low as well. He has above average stuff plus and location plus. He has a really good sinker as I was looking more into him. The thing that he needs to improve on is just pitching against lefties. He has fantastic stuff on his curveball. I think if he can locate it a bit better, that'll help him out. To couple it with that fastball that he has. He has good strikeout rates, 9.59 strikeouts per 9. Really good. And he has a 25.1% strikeout rate, 22-ish% is Major League Baseball average. He's also great the first time through the lineup. Then he's good the second time. And then he is ass the third time. So if he can improve that too, listen, my brain just shut off. That was crazy. I don't even know what to say. He's young. Location should improve. He has the stuff. He has the strikeout ability. I think he's going to have a great 2024. Last but certainly not least, the Texas Rangers. It's tough because I feel like so many players broke out on that team last year, so it's kind of hard to pick. And nobody really, off the top of my head, had like a year primed for a bounce back year in 2024, except for Josh Young. I think that he can be a really good third baseman in Major League Baseball. I'm saying nice things about my divisional opponents, okay? I need like a star, a pat on the back, something. The thing with Young is that he just needs to be more selective. The strikeout rates are a problem. The walk rates are a problem. But when he hits the ball, he hits it hard as shit. He's in the 98th percentile in sweet spot percentage, 82 percentile in hard hit rate. He did have a higher BABIP in 2023, but he also hits the ball really hard. So that could be why his BABIP was a little high. He just needs to be a bit more selective. How old are you? Wow, it's midnight? Good lord. He only has 148 games in Major League Baseball. So more plate appearances, just take some walks. And I think that you will be a stud. So there you have it. Those are my players that I am predicting will have bounce back or breakout years in 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know where I went wrong. Thank you for being here. Again, I just am really appreciative that I'm getting the opportunity to talk baseball with you guys. This is anything and everything that I could ever ask for. I love you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember to not let sports affect your mental health, baby. It's just sports. They're supposed to be fun. Don't get sad over them, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.